Next up, we have a man loved for his swashbuckling midfield performances between the years of 1989 and 1998. 284 games and 16 goals. A much-loved cult icon. Welcome to the show, to your first appearance. It's Bish Bosh, Ian Bishop.
How you doing, fellas?
Very well. All the better for having you on.
Yeah, absolutely.
How exciting.
Oh my God, Ian Bishop was on the show. This is amazing for us. Well, you don't understand how excited we are. We understand you're in Florida now, Ian.
Yeah, I've been here for 9 years now, mate. Coaching kids, mainly. Enjoying myself, enjoying life. Trying to navigate through this immigration system to sort out my green card, but we're on the brink of getting everything finalised now.
Oh, fantastic! I mean, you must be missing the UK weather. Like we're in winter at the moment. You're not missing it much?
Well, I was back for Christmas and New Year, so I got a little taster of it and the rain and stuff. But you know, I always like to get back for a couple of weeks every now and again. You know, I do miss the place, but I think the 2 weeks there makes me realise why I moved here.
Did you? Because you finished your career out there, didn't you?
I did, yeah. Well, if you don't want to count Rochdale, I did finish
we don't.
There, yeah. No, great people there. I wouldn't knock it. You know, the club folded here after I'd been here a season. I was about to sign 2 more years, and I felt I could have played for another 5 years after that. At the pace of the game here, I was all set to continue my life and settle down, and the MLS pulled the plug on the club, and I ended up in no man's land again. So I think it sort of prematurely retired me, because when it came back, I had about 8 games for Rochdale, and it didn't really go down as I felt it would. You know, great people there, Paul Simpson, lovely fella, good manager. Played about 8 games and realised that it wasn't really, you know, being detrimental to the league or the standard. It wasn't what I'd been used to, and I wasn't enjoying my football, to be honest with you. So I sort of hung them up for a while. I played a couple of games non-league for a friend of mine, Ronnie Evans, who was physio at Man City. And then I came and played in New Orleans when I was 39. I played for 4 months in a league here with like 24, 25-year-olds. And still enjoyed myself, you know. Good times.
I mean, were you still able to keep up with the pace of the game at the 38, 39?
What do you mean still able? I was never able to keep up with the pace in the first place. I played on my pace.
We spoke to Billy Bonds on here a few weeks ago, actually, and he was saying that, what was it, when did he finish? 41?
41.
Yeah, he was still running around at 41.
Well, even when he was about 44, he was still outrunning me on the field. So, you know, that was the secret of me lasting so long. I brought everybody down to my pace.
Well, let's rewind your career now and go back to kind of 1989, signing for West Ham. It was Lou Macari who brought you to your club. I mean, how easy a decision was it to go to West Ham?
Well, there was 2 big factors for me. One, Howard Kendall didn't want me, and the other one, West Ham was a no-brainer for me as far as football. You know, I've been brought up with some great managers as well. Bob Stokoe signed me for Carlisle. Pop Robson took over, and they allowed me to play football. That's what I was brought up on at Everton as a kid, and I'm always eternally grateful to Colin Harvey and Graham Smith, because I think your foundation is the most important thing. I think that's why, you know, West Ham have had all that success with the players who've come through. The foundations are everything. And then, I mean, Lou was a little bit different. I never felt I was Lou's type of player, but I sat down and spoke with Lou, and I really got on with Lou. Although he was probably everything I wasn't, you know, didn't like a beer. I don't just mean that, but, you know, I mean, in style of football, by signing us, it meant that he wanted us to play the West Ham way. I know he had his problems with all the garbage that was going on with Swindon at the time, and a lot of pressure. But I like Lou, and I'm eternally grateful that he brought me to West Ham, because I wouldn't have had them 9 years, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting you say you like Lou, because I think everyone else who's spoken to around that time seemed to dislike him. I think Alan Devonshire in particular didn't like him. Would you think?
You know what? I'm good friends with Dev as well, but I'm a big believer that you take people as you find them, you know. It's I live my life that way. You know, you don't hate me, I don't hate you back. It's as simple as that. I think I was like that on the field. You know, I didn't really kick out or lash out at anybody until they got me first. You know, I'd always wanted to beat people with me football, and if for some reason they wanted to have a go, then I could have a go back, you know. Deb or whoever it was at the time, I know Jules wasn't particularly happy with him, on account that he used to boot him up in the air in training all the time. That was a bit of a giveaway. You just had to make sure you kept out the way when they came together.
Well, after Lou Macari left, we had Billy Bonds come in. And what were your memories of that early period of Billy Bonds as manager of West Ham?
Well, I'm going to say it now. I love Billy to death. You know, I mean, we had a little spell where he left me out of the team, and I think that was more Harry's influence than Billy's. You know, me and Harry weren't seeing eye to eye. He thought I was a little bit overweight. Maybe wasn't living my life properly. And I'll be honest with you, he had a point to an extent, not to the extent that he said in his book that I was 32 pounds overweight. That's beyond any realm of belief, to be honest with you. But he had a point at the time. Billy was just too honest to be a manager, in my opinion. The nicest person you'll ever come across. Heart and soul, bled, claret and blue. And you know, he still would say the same thing and feel the same way. And I've just seen something now that Alvin's taken him and Julian around doing this captain's things. And I've jokingly on Twitter asked Jules if I'd fit because he lent me the captaincy for the season, you know. Could I come with them?
So, I mean, you mentioned Julian Dix then. What was he like as a teammate? We've heard a few stories.
He was my roommate.
Oh, really? Does that mean you got it worse or better than anyone?
No, I got it better. Well, my first encounter with him, not long after I signed, was to find out how tough he was, to be honest with you, because we were in a nightclub, just by chance. We were in a nightclub, and we were joking as we come outside, and he sort of gave me a shove in the back, and I fallen over and ripped me new Armani pants. And I stood up and I said to her, I squared up with him, and I said, "You're going to pay for them?" He said, "No, I'm not." He said, I said, "You're going to pay for them?" He said, "No, I'm not." So I gave him a shove, and he didn't move. I went, "Okay, I'll pay for them." Good as gold, mate. But whatever people think, you know, his persona on the field, he's a pussycat off it, mate.
Really?
Two lovely girls. You know, would help you with anything. Just one of them genuine top blokes, you know. I still keep in touch now.
Yeah. We had a...
Still hasn't paid me pants, though.
What's that, sorry?
Still hasn't paid for your pants.
Still hasn't paid me pants, no.
We'll ask him about that next time he's on.
Installments, and he still won't do it.
We had a guest on the show a few weeks ago, a fan called Romford, and he was a bouncer around the kind of like the city in the early 90s, late 80s. He said that Frank McAvenny had a reputation for partying, but that you completely outstripped him.
Don't say outstripped. I'm sure the morning room is up and like it.
Was there any truth to that?
I spoke to Frank 2 days ago. We're trying to get together and organise some business. It's not to do with nightclubs or stripping or anything. No, don't get lost in that. Well, you know, Frank had the reputation. I was sort of flying under the radar a little bit, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I could. I'll be honest with you. I could party with the best of them, but as you know, nothing ever comes out in the papers, so I didn't really do anything.
So
I must admit, I did hate the introduction of camera phones.
Oh, really?
That sort of quietened everything down.
So that would have been towards the end. Like, when was that? Like late 90s, early kind of 2000s.
All the 90s.
Really?
No, we had a good group of players. We had a good group, and they kept replenishing. You know, I mean, at the beginning there's Frank, Trev, Dixie. You know, Timmy Baker was a quiet one. Kenny Brown. I spoke to Kenny again the other day. Just a great bunch of lads. Then Big Downer came along, and Johnny Arson and Kit. We used to have a little lunch squad, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Anytime when we were getting dressed after training, if somebody said, "Fancy a spot for lunch," everybody's ears pricked up. That was a couple of scoops.
So who was the main kind of the party crew? Or did you consider yourself in that party crew?
Oh, big time, yeah. Big time. But everyone was the same, you know. I mean, I remember my introduction to Big Ludek, because we signed at the same time. And there was just me and him in the hotel, and he couldn't speak a word of English. And we've only just introduced ourselves, sort of thing. So I thought, if we can't speak, we might as well have a beer together, you know. So we sat down and we were sitting there, and obviously there's no conversation, so I thought, all right, let's have a game of spoof. You know what spoof is? You know the game with the 3 coins?
Oh, coins, yeah.
Yeah, you have 3 coins each, and you put however many coins in your hand, you guess the total, and the loser has to drink the drink. Well, he ended up throwing up. We ended up, we didn't speak a word to each other, and he ended up throwing up, having to get up and go and train with me the next day. And, you know, once he started learning English, he got a little bit better at spoof.
How did you communicate the rules of the game? Was it just like sign language?
I honestly don't remember how I did it, but...
I love you threw up.
Yeah.
And I didn't cheat.
Yeah. Yeah. You could have made up any rules, I would imagine.
Them up.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right, yeah. No, did you see the size of them?
Well, you were playing...
Yeah, we had a good crew anyway. If anything, Johnny Monks was the nutcase.
Well, yeah.
I know he's gone again now, but I mean, I won't go into too many details. But I'll just say the maggot, okay?
So there's two...
Think what you want.
There's 2 big John Monco stories I've heard. So if I retell them, you can tell me whether or not they happened. The first one is a house party that he came out and stripped completely naked and got on a table and started dancing in front of everybody. Did that happen?
Well, the maggot. That's all I'm saying.
And the one where he allegedly he was late to training and instead of getting his kit on, he just ran out in just his football boots.
Again,
the maggot.
I plead the fifth. I've seen it. I remember in Germany, right? We were at a pre-season game. I'll give you one more so you can use that in the future with other people. We were trapped inside the bar. You can imagine. It was raining. We weren't trapped. It was just raining outside. It was pouring down, and it must have been like a festival or a party outside. So it was all these tables, it was like a long length of about 5 tables, plastic tables, and it was all like little puddles of water, and it was drenched. And he then, in front of everybody, even the strangers in the bar, he stripped off, he opened the door, he ran, dove full length, slid the whole length of the 5 tables on his belly, and fell off the other end. Come back in as if it was just normal.
Wow.
I think Ben was probably happy about the maggot because he could have got hurt.
Funny. You were at West Ham through so many kind of iconic moments. I think you were on the field. The first one I'd like to talk about is that last game of the season against Manchester United, where we denied them the title. I mean, on that day we had nothing to play for. Essentially, what happened to the team to have that kind of resilience to stop a team winning the championship?
We had everything to play for. Stop United.
Yeah.
That was everything for everybody in the league. You know.
Yeah.
Everybody. I actually, Tony Gale was playing for Blackburn at the time. He got me Alan Shearer's shirt.
Really?
At the end of that season. Yeah, I've got it in the house, signed by all the players. Yeah.
Wow.
So he was grateful, and I know Blackburn were grateful. I think they lost at Anfield that day 2-1. So no, it was always one of them things. I've had a lot of affinities with Man United for some reason. You know, playing for City, scoring in the 5-1. I signed for Bournemouth. Bournemouth had a great season under Harry. We drew United in the quarters. We should have beat them at home. We tied 1 each. And we went and lost the replay 1-0 at Old Trafford. 92, when Leeds won it. When we beat them 1-0, I think we were more or less relegated. We beat them 1-0 when Kenny Brown scored. And Leeds won the title. Then in 95 again, stopping them winning the league. You know? I actually spoke to Fergie. I went to one of his charity dinners when I was back last year, and it was the first time I really met him and spoke to him. And he honestly was a lovely fella, and we recalled all of them days and all the games, and he ended up telling me where to go. Politely.
So is it still kind of a great source of enjoyment for you personally that Alex Ferguson, he won all these things, but you stopped him?
Big time. I used to get, obviously, with all the Trevor crap that went on, I used to get abused everywhere. For 10 years it went on for, but the worst place for me to go to was Old Trafford. They used to hammer me. I mean, like, for 25 minutes non-stop singing songs. Yeah. I had to actually stop my mum going to the game because she would have gone in a fight. There'd have been this little 65, 70-year-old woman fighting everybody.
Well, you mentioned then just all that Trevor crap. I mean, as educated fans, we understand like a lot of it was crap. But I mean, how did that come about? Like, what was
well, it? Was more than a lot of it was crap. All of it was crap.
Yeah.
You know. Trevor was picking me up for training, and I mean, I can talk about it now. I mean, the thing was, I was getting abused and wouldn't speak because it wasn't my story. It was Trevor's story. You know, between him and his wife and what went on in their house. I mean. You know, my wife will tell you, my next door neighbour and his wife, Tony Gale. We were at a function for Tony Gale in Chigwell, and we shouldn't have been really because it was 2 nights before the game. But we did it for Gailey, you know, and we were there. We thought, you know, we won't drink too much because we're not allowed to drink 2 nights before the game, and we very, very rarely did it. Honestly, as much as we were a bit of a drinking squad at the time, we didn't abuse it. We didn't go out after a Wednesday. It was, you know, you couldn't because it was your club, your team. Yep. You wouldn't disrespect the club and the supporters in that way. But this night was a function with our wives and in Chigwell, and I lived in Chigwell. Trevor lived in Waltham Abbey. So Trevor and his wife were arguing in my house afterwards. We'd had a couple of beers, and they were arguing. She was waiting in a cab outside, and he was finishing his beer in the house. My next door neighbour and his wife were there. And they went home. He went home eventually, and I was on a driving ban at the time, and Trevor was picking me up every morning. And I was late for training because he didn't come. And that was the first I heard of it when Bill told me. But there was another story. Bill said that apparently his wife had come home and found me and him with 2 beds, which, considering what the rumours were, I would have taken that anyway. You know what I mean? That would have been a far better story for me. But, I mean, my wife would have killed me, but luckily enough, she was there at the time. So it was ugly and evil, you know. And you know what football fans are like. Yeah. They prefer it to be like that anyway.
Yeah.
So we got dogs abuse, and I don't think Trevor dealt with it too well. Obviously, he nearly died as well, so that's...
Yeah.
You know, like I said, it was this story. I had press come to my house and offer me tons of money to do the story, and like I said, I could have made something up and took the money.
Yeah.
Even, you know, and just laughed at them. But, you know, every game we went to, can you imagine turning up? It wasn't just playing for your team and fighting relegations and the bond scheme and all this and whatever went on during the time there. Every time we turned up, the sports press, who was supposed to be your friends, and some of them still are, to be honest with you, they would come up and say, look, the story's going out tomorrow. Do you want to put your side across? Is there anything you want us to say, you know, on your behalf? I said, yeah, write the story and we'll sue you.
Wow.
But it isn't true.
Yeah.
So we'd go out for games. We'd been asked that question before every game.
Wow.
That had been heaped upon us before we went out and played, you know.
Tough time.
Yeah, it was. But, you know, you deal with... I used to blow kisses to the fans.
Yes.
So I showed my arse to the one United fans once. I got away with it because I did it really sneakily. I was on the post for the corner, and I was getting abused behind me. You know, all these big thugs and ignorant idiots. And I was turning around and blowing kisses and annoying them because there was a fence there at the time, I think. So, you know, it was when the photographers were all... Excuse me. Oh. Sorry. There's me keen on me on the phone. I'm still trendy, see?
Still got it.
So, anyway, I was holding the post and the photographers were at the side of the goal, and I don't know whether it was Giggsy taking the corner. I realised that the photographers are going to be looking at the ball when it comes in. So I sort of pulled my shirt out, pulled my shorts down, left my shirt over, and then as the corner's about to be taken, turned round and screamed at them, and then lifted my shirt and showed my arse when the corner came in. Excuse me language.
That's fine.
Thought it gave me some satisfaction, you know.
Yeah, yeah, I bet.
Not getting my arse out in public. Just going on, you know.
So I mean, you enjoyed like quite a lengthy career with West Ham. You ended up playing for 9 years. What for you was the highlight of your time at West Ham?
Well, obviously the promotions, but every real good thing was tinged a little bit, you know. Even the promotion when, we lost it in the last seconds because Oldham went we lost the last game and I think Oldham got 8 minutes added time on or something and managed to come back from 2-1 down, I think. We had the champagne ready in the dressing room.
Yeah.
And, well, we still drank it, but that wasn't going to change. And promotion was promotion. But it was an anticlimax because we'd sealed it about 5 games earlier, and it was the championship we wanted.
Yeah.
And, it was a bit of not a letdown, but like an anticlimax.
Yeah.
And then I suppose the other thing was the semi-finals at Villa Park, which will stay with me forever.
Yeah.
I've had 2, even going back to City and having the Wembley playoff against Gillingham, which was unbelievable. And then the following year, consecutive promotions, having to win at Blackburn away in the last game of the season was unbelievable times. But Villa Park is up there with it, and we lost.
Yeah.
One of them things. I've just found a picture of Gailey where he's patting his forehead, and you see Keith Hackett with a red card up, and I keep staring at it, and even after all this time, 20 odd years, staring at it with disbelief. It killed us. That first goal, and then for them to look like they romped it and beat us 4-0, still drives me. But the Billy Bonds, Claret and Blue Army.
Well, I was going to ask, yeah.
I mean, you close your eyes, you still hear it, can't you?
Yeah, Billy Bonds mentioned that actually as one of his favourite memories, that the fans singing that during the...
Yeah. It was unreal. I got carried off the field, and I was telling the fans to put me down. So, I was gutted we'd lost, but they were still celebrating. Yeah. And I don't think you'll ever see that again.
No.
Honestly, don't.
It's giving me goosebumps.
We were part of something amazing that day, and I'll tell you a funny story. My brother was at the game, and he's a bit of a nutcase, but he was at the game. He won't mind me saying that. He's probably not listening anyway. So he's my younger brother as well. So he's gone to Villa Park, and he's gone up to this policeman on a horse, and he's gone, "Can you tell me where the players' lounge is?" And the policeman's gone, "The playground's over there, sonny boy." He went, "Oh, fuck off, McLeod." And then he ran, and the policeman chased him on the horse. And people told me, if you remember seeing this chase, this is years after. He said he legged it, and another coppers got involved. They ended up arresting him, put him in a cell with a load of cockneys. Scoused in the cell with a load of cockneys.
Yeah.
And the worst thing was the thing that he laughed about. Yeah. He went, "Oh, I'm Ian Bishop's brother," and he sort of didn't believe him.
Yeah.
And he said the reason he didn't believe me was, he said, "You can't be. He's got a big nose." Yeah. Whoever you are, if you remember and you're listening, thanks. He missed the game. He missed the game,
so he's in the cells for the game.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
It's having to go on the cloud.
So did you have to go bail him out after the game?
No, I was on the team bus. I didn't even notice it happened until I got home. I didn't have mobile phones then, did we?
Yeah. God.
I didn't know anything about it. Saw them let him rot. He might still be in there.
So let's touch on the City, because of course you're kind of affiliated with 2 big clubs really, West Ham and Man City. But yeah. I mean, the City that exists now is totally different to the team, the kind of the standard of the team then. I mean, what's your take on the way Man City have evolved over the last few years?
Well, I'll tell you something right now, and if there are City fans going to be listening to this, everything you see in the media, the social media, it's so lovely that there's pictures out there of us at Wembley standing with our arms around each other.
Wow.
There's about 8 or 9 of us while the penalties are going on, and the City fans are saying, "We wouldn't have today if it wasn't for you."
Wow.
Never forget,
Yeah.
And the biggest thing for me about the 2 clubs, and I've said it through all my years, there's no other supporters like them for sticking by through all the crap that they've been through. And they deserve that today. I don't begrudge any of them players. I want it to succeed. I want them to be who they are. I hope to God the same thing happens for West Ham, because it's what you've earned. Sticking through all the garbage you've had to deal with over these years, and still being there, and for them to recognise that. And I would also like, with the West Ham thing, I think I was part of a squad in the 90s that stabilised the club. And I know supporters recognise that also.
Yeah.
So although there's no first place trophies for me in my career, I've had more than enough. I've been very, very fortunate. And I'll tell you the truth, I wouldn't have left West Ham. I gave up a testimonial at West Ham. I got offered another year to stay. You know, I'd sat on the bench a bit, and I didn't agree with Harry at the time. I thought I was better than the players he had in there, even at 32. But he obviously chose to bring other people in. And I could have stayed. And I wouldn't have left for any other club. I would have sat on the bench for another year, taken me tax-free money. I wouldn't have left for any other club, honestly.
Just City were a bit special to you.
Well, I felt I had unfinished business. I knew they were getting relegated to
the old first
league.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, League One now. It's the third division. I knew, but it didn't matter to me. I could have played. I knew I could have played another 3-4 years in the Premier League. But it didn't matter to me. It was Man City, and for what had happened before, after being there 6 months and leaving so prematurely, I felt I went back. And I'm actually quoted, and I don't have the newspaper cuts or anything. I've come back to get this club back in the Premier League.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what I did before I walked away.
Wow.
And my good thing, and the thing that I think is very rare for any footballer, is I have never left a club on bad terms. Never left a club on bad terms. I know I can go to any club and I'll get the same reception.
Well,
and I've booked in now for the Man City West Ham game, last game of the season. Yeah, and I've asked them if I can present something on the field, because I want to be out there in front of both sets of fans.
Amazing.
Now, I don't know whether they can fix that or sort that out.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for a response now.
That'd be a wonderful touch. I mean, talking about going back to West Ham now, do you still get recognised, or since you've had a haircut, do people struggle?
No, I still get recognised, mate. I'm still signing pictures that people have had and haven't been able to catch up with yet. I've just had a request now from a Man City fan who's got a collection of 1999 and when will I be back? You know, it's nice to be seen and recognised. The club will never change, will it? It's homely, it's welcoming, they take care of you when you go back. I get to it, like, what I've realised is you like more now that you've retired. well, if you think about it, some days you have off days, you know, and people dislike you, even your own supporters. You can't be loved every week because you've got to go out and perform. But you may be keeping somebody's favourite player out of the team. But now there's nothing to hate you for. People just realise what you did at the club and what you did for the club. And it's really refreshing, especially if I have a year, 2 years where I don't come home and I have to deal with some of the garbage I have to deal with here, you know, at the youth level, with parents, because they pay, think they own you. And if you don't play their son, they move to another team. There's no fight, you know. They don't realise that their son's going to be a better player for the competition.
Yeah.
You know, if I'm not getting what I want, I'm going somewhere else where I'll get it. And they find out that they're in a weaker team, but their son's playing, and they think that's success.
Difficult.
You know, where to come back and get back to the real world of football. We've set up an agency in a partner in Pittsburgh. I haven't promoted it yet. We've set up a company called Blue Moon International. We've got a 19-year-old keeper who's on trial at Doncaster now. We've got a couple of younger players. We're going to target maybe up to 20-year-old American kids to try and get them into Europe. And it's still a baby. It's about 3-4 months old, and we're still structuring properly. But I'm back in touch with all my old friends, all my connections. I didn't realise how many people I knew, to be honest. I'm just trying to recall who I owe money to, though.
You can't be careful. Last question. I mean, you became...
Are we finishing? Do we have to finish?
Well, one more question, if you've got a sec.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Do we have to finish?
Oh, right. We can talk all day. I'm loving it. I was going to say about Upton Park, because, of course, I mean, that's the turf on which you became a legend in our eyes. But, of course, West Ham are now a couple of years away from leaving it. What are your feelings and emotions around that?
Well, I've already been through it, haven't I? Because at Man City I played at Main Road.
Course, yeah.
So, you know, I've just found a picture of Upton Park where the fans are invading the field. For a good reason this time, not for the bond scheme. And I keep it, and I look at it every now and again. I've got a picture of Main Road there, and for me, I don't think it'll ever be the same. I've been to the Etihad, and it's great there, and the new regime is fantastic, and obviously the supporters are more comfortable. They have more amenities, but there won't be an atmosphere like Main Road. And you'll certainly never find an atmosphere like Upton Park. Never. Midweek, under the lights.
Yeah.
Nobody will ever find that again. It's a shame for me, but it's progress, isn't it?
Yeah.
The club's got to grow. It's a fact of life. Everything evolves. And if it means more revenue, more fans coming to the games, well, I mean, that obviously depends on the success of the team as well. I mean, people still gripe and groan, they work hard for their money, go and pay to watch. Well, it's picked up now, but, there was watching a style of football that wasn't conducive to West Ham, really. It's the only disappointing thing about things, but, each manager has a style, and if they keep us up or bring success, then what works,
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, as you say, we'll always have the memories, even though we've got to move forward, and some of those memories contain all the great things you did for West Ham down the years, and for that, we'll never forget you, and we're eternally grateful for all those good times.
It was always my pleasure, mate, honest to God. I'd say now, but people say if you had 3 wishes and all that, I mean, I'd like 2, one day, I'd like to have one day with my children as babies again.
Yeah.
Not that they're a pain in the arse as teenagers, but, well, they are, but, just to see them as babies, have one more day and get that feeling back, and I'd like to play one more game.
Wow.
In fact, the last game of this season, if I could play the first half for City and the second half for West Ham, that would be my ideal dream,
maybe you could have had that testimonial you never get to have. That'd be a nice thing, wouldn't it?
Yeah, well, it's only money.
Yeah, that's true. Cheers, Bish Bosh. It's been a pleasure speaking to you. You really are. You're as funny in real life as you are on your Twitter, actually. That's a compliment.
This is actually a recording.
Cheers, Ian. Enjoy the sunny weather.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, no, it's a pleasure. Anytime.
Cheers, Ian. Have a great day.
Man.
Cheers.
I'll be back to the Palace game. 19th of April. I've got 26 people coming over from America.
Oh, wow.
To watch the Army.
Oh, amazing. Well, hopefully it'll be a good luck charm.
Yeah. Well, let's hope they don't need good luck by that time.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
I'm looking forward to the last game. Let's hope City pick the title up, West Ham is safe, and we just enjoy the day,
Yeah,
that'd be
fingers
perfect.
crossed. Yeah, that'd be good. And you on the pitch at half-time to do a presentation?
Well, if you don't let me, I think I might do a monkey or something.
The maggot.
The maggot 2.
Fantastic. Cheers, Ian.
Thanks, Ian. Have a good time.
Cheers, Ian.
Pleasure.
Cheers now.
Bye.
Bye.